Ooh, we can make a whole new pond! See what happens if you try adding new plants and animals to your pond. Rocks. There are rocks of all shapes and sizes at the bottom of the pond. To tiny pond creatures, rocks must look as big as mountains. I noticed that the rocks look green up close. That's because they're covered in algae. What do you notice? Underwater plants. Floating plants. These underwater plants make good hiding places for small pond animals. Lily pads are floating plants that give frogs a place to sit and warm themselves in the sun. Underwater plants will help feed lots of pond animals. I wonder who will eat them. Plants help animals live and grow. This plant's leaves are good for pond animals to eat. To tiny pond creatures, rocks must look as big as mountains. Worm. Snail. Snails have shells to protect them. I wonder what other creatures have shells. Mayfly larva. Tadpole. Tadpoles will grow and change to become frogs. This larva is a baby mayfly. It will grow up to have wings and fly around the surface of the pond. Wow! I wonder how many tadpoles are here. Count how many you see. It looks like tadpole bodies are just a head and tail. I wonder how the body parts will change as it grows into a frog. Mayfly larva. Mosquito larva. Mayflies are important food for many fish. Mosquito larvae grow up to be small flying insects. Mayflies have 3 tails that make them easy to spot. How many mayflies do you see? I can see hairy parts on the side of the mayfly larva. These are gills that help it breathe underwater. I noticed that mayfly larva has 2 tails to help it swim in different directions. What do you notice? Mosquito larva. Caddisfly larva. This larva is a baby caddisfly. Some fish eat the caddisflies. Adult mosquitoes are important food for frogs, fish, and birds. I wonder what the caddisfly will look like when the larva grows up. I see this larva has 6 legs. That means it's an insect. What do you notice? This frog is the grown-up of the tadpole we added. I noticed that this frog has green skin, covered in spots. Do you think that helps it hide? This frog has long back legs that help it hop around on land and swim in the water. Northern pike, red-spotted newt. Pikefish are big and eat other fish and frogs. Newts live in the water and on land, like frogs.
Newts have interesting features that make them look a little like a frog and a little like a lizard.
Northern pike, pumpkin seed sunfish. Pike hide in the plants to wait for food to catch. The pattern on the pumpkin seed fish helps it hide because it looks like sunlight on the pond.
Whoa, look at the size of them.
I noticed this plant has really thin leaves. What do you notice about the plant's color? I noticed that the pikefish has a big mouth with pointy teeth. What do you notice? I noticed that the pikefish has a long, thin body and lots of spots. What do you notice? Pumpkin seed sunfish. Spotted bass. Spotted bass get their name from the rows of spots on their bellies. Pumpkin seed fish swim at the top and the bottom of the pond to find food.
Look carefully to spot the differences between the pond creatures. What do you notice about the animal sizes?
I noticed the scales on the bass's cheeks are smaller than the scales on the bass's body. What do you notice? I noticed that the spotted bass is a green color with dark spots on its side. What do you notice?
This caddisfly is the grown-up of the larva we added.
The mayfly has 2 sets of wings. I notice one set is much smaller than the other. What do you notice? I notice the mayfly has 2 long, thin tails. What do you notice? Heron. Kingfisher. Kingfishers are colorful little birds who are great at, well, fishing. Great blue herons are wading birds. That means they stand in the shallow water looking for food.
Kingfishers have pointy beaks that help them go fast when they dive into the water.
I noticed the kingfisher has a long and pointy beak. This helps it get its food. What do you notice? I noticed the kingfisher has short legs and a short tail. What do you notice? Mallard duck. Painted turtle. Painted turtles look for their food along the bottom and edges of the pond. Mallards eat by dipping their head into the water along the surface and will go to the bottom of the pond to find food.
The painted turtle's shell protects it. Can you describe the pattern on its shell?
I noticed the turtle's shell has lines making shapes on it. What do you notice? I noticed that this turtle has yellow stripes on its skin. What do you notice? Heron. Mallard duck. The great blue heron mostly eats small fish. Mallards eat many things, like plants and small animals. The great blue heron mostly eats small fish. The great blue heron has a long neck that sometimes looks like an S. The mayfly has 2 sets of wings. I notice one set is much smaller than the other. What do you notice?